afternoon and good evening to our global audience, and welcome back to day 2 of the Transition Faster conference. Let's talk wind. Yesterday was a packed agenda where across 6 sessions we heard global experts discuss the challenges and barriers facing the wind industry and how collectively we can overcome them, whilst identifying key market opportunities and emerging technologies, and how we can scale up and transition faster. We know we have the technologies in place, and today we will look at how we can scale up with a focus on asset optimization and life cycle management and the role that policy will play. As the number of offshore and onshore wind projects rises, new wind regimes will be exploited, and though some may have lower average wind speeds, turbine manufacturers will continue to develop a range of models for various wind conditions. Trends such as this, combined with repowering of older sites with modern turbines and ever-increasing turbine size, particularly offshore, enable significantly improved energy production and reduced level cost of energy. Wind farms will also increasingly provide services to the grid, more flexible generation and frequency response, ever more detailed data and modern-driven approaches such as digital twins to optimize life management of wind projects or access repowering, and further improvement of manufacturing processes, including potentially innovative methods such as 3D printing for blade components. Within 5 years, there will also be a greater application of total wind farm control, which can increase production while reducing structural loads. Policy and regulation can be an effective way to shape markets and encourage the adoption of technologies and behaviors that will change how energy is used. Policy will be at the heart of how the renewable industry progresses. But policy change isn't always easy, especially when it disrupts decades of traditional fossil-based energy strategies. Policy also varies enormously by country, region, and local authority and can be hard to change. We need policies that provide predictable costs, which favor investments in renewable energy by reducing the risk and increasing rewards. Policymakers can help by defining climate goals and appropriate long-term energy scenarios. Regulators can then develop new elements in the regulatory framework, which ensures that reliability and sustainability targets are met based on functioning market models and conditions. While international agreements clarify carbon reduction goals and commitments, these doesn't always translate to workable national and local policy. Short political cycles and changes in government priorities can result in flip-flopping energy policies or regulatory procedures, and that induces uncertainty and undermined investor confidence. While many governments are good at putting together strategies for energy programs, they are often a little too slow to implement change. Without a higher degree of cross-party cohesion, policy uncertainty and delay will continue. So how can governments work together and learn from each other? How should the US take examples from Europe to speed up their transition? How will they now scale up? And which global markets can support them? The Biden administration will be the key for the US offshore wind industry in transitioning faster. They have outlined huge targets for renewables and the climate, and those goals cannot be met without the influx of clean gigawatts from offshore wind. In today's program, we will start by hearing from international developers Ørsted and EnBW, who will discuss the impact that blockage had on their worldwide and on what needs to be done going forward. The ability to accurately predict the energy output of onshore and offshore projects is a key part of ensuring that the wind industry continues to enjoy the support and confidence of the investment community. Achieving accurate energy prediction is still an area of intense research, and the accounting of a previously underestimated loss, commonly known as blockage, is now a hot topic in the wind industry. We will hear from experts on the importance of data in managing wind farms, operational data from a portfolio of wind assets face the challenges of big data, volume, velocity, variety, and veracity. A robust data management system is required to allow insights. You can't manage and improve what you don't measure. Analytics programs requires time and investment in infrastructure prior to a return. Success of any program will vary between firms, but maximizing energy-based availability and gaining knowledge of potential maintenance issues across a portfolio are measurable KPIs to evaluate success of any program. Advanced data analytic models and methods are being deployed in the wind industry by top-tier owners and generators to proactively identify O&M issues to maximize energy capture. However, domain experts are still required to interpret and tune model outputs. Fleet-wide benefits of data analytics, including reducing the period of normal operation to tune prognostic models. And finally, in the last session, we will address how offshore wind holds huge promise for our future. By 2030, half of all new US wind installation will be from offshore wind. And we can expect 83,000 new jobs in offshore wind support alone. States are setting tremendous offshore wind targets. As of now, 25 gigawatt by 2030, including New York, 4 gigawatt by 30, 9 gigawatt by 35, New Jersey, 7.5 gigawatt by 35, Virginia, 2.5 gigawatt by 26 and 5.2 by 34, Massachusetts, 3.2 gigawatt by 35, Connecticut, 2 gigawatt by 2030, and Maryland, 1.2 by 2030. However, environmental justice and serving frontline communities will continue to be an evolving area for offshore wind developers as we seek to not only solve the climate crisis, but also restore equity and justice to US citizens. As I said yesterday, we're entering a time of transformation, and we are merely at the end of the beginning. We hope the next 2 days will help us to understand this journey and collectively how we can work together to take the next steps forward. Together, I believe we can transition faster to a clean energy future. I hope you enjoy the program.